Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This is episode number 158. And this week, I got Roger, aka Lunatic Oblivion. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Good, man. And on the other side, we got Scott, aka Scoby1. How's it going, bro?
Hey everyone, how are we doing tonight?
Good, good. So it sounds like you guys have had a long weekend, or not long enough, I hear.
Not long enough.
Yeah. I wish I could say I had like a weekend, but like working retail, some days has its benefits, but in others, so it's like, man, I wish I had back to back days off consistently every week. It, unlike my other my work schedule was like work off, work off, work off, and I'm like, this is miserable. Don't want to do that, but here nor there. At least I still have time to play games. Whenever I can squeeze it in there. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about that. Because Roger, we got to play a little bit more Black Ops 6 Zombies, and we got to the final
Fuck that
boss
new
again.
boss. Fuck it. Fuck that boss. Fuck that fight. Oh man, the game. It makes you want to buy gumball packs. It feels like this boss is meant to make you want to buy gumball packs, and I'm like, I really don't want to buy gumball packs. So then I have to sit there and farm, farm, farm.
Yeah, and it's random on which gumballs you're getting, so you have no idea, and you may or may not get the ones that you need. Which the ones that you need or want are very, very rare. So you're probably
Yeah.
not going to get many. Like even then, like when I was farming there for like a month straight of farming, I had like three. So like the chances of getting more, it's really tough. So yeah, best bet is probably to spend the money in the shop to get them. But yeah,
And no way I'm buying cash shop shit. Like, I ain't putting the game money into that game.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I remember he called me and told me when he made reached round 109, 109 with his buddies, because they were trying to beat the boss, but they ended up just saying fuck it, and then they retried again and got to
hmm
109. They were trying to just see how far they can get, but they actually ended up spending like hundreds of dollars on the gumballs to see if they can try and like do the boss, but they've died like so many times, and I'm just like, yeah,
Have
no,
they
thank
beaten
you,
the boss?
no,
Wait, they haven't even beaten the boss?
no, no.
This boss is fucking degenerate, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it does feel bad.
Yeah, like, and it just feels weird because like you're fighting a mirror that shoots out a laser. Like when it comes to like enemy design, excuse me real quick.
Dude,
Yeah.
man,
Man, my
we
nose has
heard
been
all
on
that.
a-
Everyone heard all that on the stream.
my
That
nose
was
is
so
on a
loud.
1,000. But yeah, man, like that. I feel like just the enemy design was like really fucking lazy for this one. Like at least like the first one, it was like the Kraken monster. Like there was some depth to him. Like, and then the next one was with the statue. That seemed
Yeah.
legit. It would chase you around. It would attack you. But
Well,
now
and
it's
it's
just
not
literally
just
just a
the
mirror that
statue.
spins in a
It's a
circle.
golem.
Yeah, golem.
Like,
Yeah,
it's a golem. And that was the importance. Like, it felt good, but the mirror, like, we could have had such a Lovecraftian style boss. But what did we get? We didn't get like some super amalgam or something that's like the progenitor of like your three big bads in it. Mimics, amalgams, and
the
and
doppelgas.
doppelgas.
Yeah,
Like, instead of getting something that would be the spawn of those, they're like, we got some spooky mirror that then gives your enemies like spooky mirror buff, but then you have to, instead of just killing that enemy, you have to kill that enemy. Then you also have to take care of the fact that they drop a mirror and kill that mirror in time. And it's like, and it's not about damage. It's about how many bullets you have before you have to reload. But also at the same time, you have to have a bunch of perks ready to go. So like you pretty much have to just spend time in zombies leveling your shit and getting the perfect build. It is ridiculous, and honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna beat it before they release the guided boss.
right. Yeah. We'll
And if
see.
it's a golem, then it already has the move set for rollout. So that's gonna make it 10 times worse.
Yes.
It's
So
that's fucking fight, dude.
let's talk about a game that we've all been playing, and we're just diving into. We saved it for last week, but I want to talk about it now, and that's Avowed. Um, the more I play it, the more I'm getting hooked. Like I feel the hook sink. Like it's in there. It's got me. It's got me right. And I'm just like I'm still in Paradise, by the way. I'm only about 7 hours into the game, which me and Scott talked about. Like my 7 hours to someone else's 7 hours could be dramatically different. Um, I'm at the point where
See?
I met the tracker guy, Maurice or something, whatever his name is, and the little short like dwarf guy, and we're like investigating like where I was assassinated. Sorry for any spoilers, but
Wow.
yeah, I mean I already told you when I saw you the other day, and I was like, oh, you didn't get to that part. My bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's cool.
I was like, my bad.
Like
Dang.
it's 30 minutes into the game that happens. Like
But
I'm
your 30
trying to
minutes
be.
is vastly different than my 30
Yeah.
minutes. That's what we were talking about. Because so Vic and I were talking. He's like, I'm about 2 hours in. I'm already at Stedman Ralk and all that good stuff. And I'm like, I'm like 2 hours in, and I'm like at the dude's house on the cliff because I'm like going all over the place. Like I'm looking at every single little thing. So like his 2 hours was much different than my 2 hours.
No, I
And now it
agree.
sounds like the 30 minutes is much more much
Yeah.
very very different than a
Like
30-minute
all
trek.
jokes aside, like the game, like the zones themselves, are, you take it your own pace and you go where you want and everything scales nicely, except for gear. Gear can go fuck itself how the gear scaling works. It's just
Yeah,
so
gear's not
annoying.
fun.
Gear is the worst part of the game.
Gear's
It
not fun.
because like you hit a level and it's like you have to be at this gear. They hard gate you. Like even Spooky Crew was talking about it on Discord. He's like, you get to a certain point and you're just like, well, I forgot to do gear, so I'm hard stuck for a little bit. And it's like, ugh.
Time to go grind some side missions and bounties. Which, by the way, I went in there and tried to do a bounty like early on, and I was like, "Yeah, I got my ass kicked. I'm going to come back to this because I am very well under like prepared because they were like 3 skull enemies, and I'm like, yep,
Hmm.
I'm gonna get my shit fucked." But I went in there
You're
with
about
my
to get
3 man
fucking
team, and I fucked
rocked.
them up, and I was like, "Let's go,
It's like
baby."
that. It's like that meme where it's like, "Hey, I'm about to go fight. I'm gonna video it," and then it's like, "Yeah, I'm not posting that shit. I got my ass beat." Like,
So, Roger, did you get to do the one side mission where you got to meet the Oracle at all? He was another
I
god,
beat
like he was like
every
completely gold
yes.
down in like the
He's not a
catacombs.
side quest, because he's part of the main story. But
Oh, it was a side
that
quest that I
being
met him at, met him in.
well, you're talking about the godlike with the gold face?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's part of the main story mission. You have to talk to him, unless you just walk right past him. But like he's part of the main story. I thought.
No, yeah, the mission that took me down in there was like the brother was at in
Yep.
Paradise, and he was like, my other brothers
Yes,
down
you're
in
right.
at the expedition crew got lost.
I
Can you save
forgot
them?
that is
And then
that
you
is a
meet him.
side
So
quest. That
yeah,
whole section. But yeah, no,
but that's the thing. Like
honestly,
it feels like a main quest because of like what
mhm.
the interactions that you have with the Oracle, and
and if you
which
and if you
decision you
don't
make
do it,
too.
and if you don't do those side quests, like the main story will suffer for it.
Yeah. Because I noticed even like early on, like when you're on that first island before you get to Paradise,
Hmm.
and you either get that decision of like letting out that girl out of jail or not. Like that actually has like a impact later on in a side mission because like you go to and do a side mission, it's like you're if you didn't let her out of the jail and you meet this
He's not
person,
there.
she's not there, and the person that you're talking to is probably going to attack you regardless. But because she's there and she's like, "Oh, they saved me. They're good. Let them go." And they were like, "Oh shit, cool. Here's the stuff that you need," and out the door you go. And I'm like, "Wow!" Like just a little bit of like impact of stuff like that has been really
noted,
awesome to see.
noted. I let her out,
Yes,
so
so did I.
noted.
Yeah, so you'll be good in an instance in one of the missions. But yeah, overall, man, I think it's been really cool. The different play styles like have been awesome too to see like whether you're playing with an axe, a sword. Me, I'm playing with again the grimoire and the wand, but I have like when you swap your loadout, I guess I switched to an axe with a shield. So if I want to go hands on, I can. I have the axe that gives you like the frost damage. Um, whenever did you Roger? Did you do the mission where you go and get the voice's memory?
I believe that one is actually a main story quest because that gives you, main powers.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was another one, and that's when you get the axe that you get the frost damage, and that one was pretty cool. So I've been trying to upgrade that one. That's one of those unique weapons that you can find throughout the game that has like a name for it as well. But yeah, man, overall, I think it's playing extremely well. Again, like I have no problems with performance. It looks great. The story has been great. I love the dialogue. Like, the impact even of dialogue. If you're in your camp, right, with Kai,
Hmm.
for instance, I had a long conversation with Kai, and he was like, "Yeah, I think we should train. I like your stuff, but like you can do something better." And at the end, like the dialogue options. The one that I chose, I was like, "Yeah, I want to work on getting stronger like you." And by the time I was done with the conversation, it was like, "Yeah, you trained and you just got +2 to your might." And I'm like, holy fuck, like that is dope. Like the impact of dialogue to affect like my strength and my abilities and stuff like that. I haven't really seen that in many games, but then again, I don't really play a shit ton of RPGs, but I played a fair share of games. This wasn't in the Outer Worlds at all, so it was definitely pretty cool to see. But yeah, this game has a lot of depth. We can sit here and talk about Valve all day, because I mean, to me, it's a really phenomenal game. I don't know how you guys exactly feel, but it's definitely teetering between a 7 and an 8 right now. Like we were talking last week, we were like, it's probably a 7, but the more I'm playing it, the better it's getting to me.
I honestly felt like I lose interest in the second zone. Like the second zone killed the game for me a little bit.
Not good to hear. Hopefully, it's not for me.
Well, when we get there, we will let you know.
Me and Scott will be there in about 30 minutes. No.
Yeah, I'd say about 45. Depends.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about a game for you, Scott. With Off the Grid, how's that playing for you? Is it still heating up, or is it?
It's been, yeah, it's definitely been heating up. It plays well. After you kind of get into the motions of how each particular mission is going to play for you. I mean, when I say mission, I just mean every time you drop. Honestly, um, once you get used to it, it's definitely an acquired taste.
Mhm.
But after you get that taste, like you kind of want more of it. It's been fun. It's been not taking over my entire life. I'm still playing. I'll still stop playing off the grid to go play PUBG or something else or like Avowed. But it has been fun, and this is I mean this is a rock solid BR. It really is. Some of the things you can do in it has been just super fun. Um, legs are dropping out of crates, arms are dropping out of crates. They all give you different abilities, different advantages or disadvantages depending on how you play. And you can definitely really like change your player to the play style that you want. Um, you get jump legs, you get legs that launch mortars, you get arms that shoot rockets, you get arms that shoot zip lines. So it really just comes down to what you want. There's nothing that's necessarily better than the other, um, eh, despite the same normal green, blue, purple, orange like
Mhm.
uh, uh, like categorizing that you get. But it really comes down to your play style, what you're best with, and what you want. And the game makes sure there's plenty of times that you have an option to choose that, like to choose that if you want. And it's been fun. It really has. Um, like I said, I there's no solo yet still, but I go in and I just get two randoms. A lot of times they don't have a mic. Uh, Sometimes they do. We get to talking, and that's when you really kind of get into like your groove.
Mhm.
But it has been fun, and I really hope that other people start playing this just because of the things you can do in it. And
Yeah.
it's without being too cliche, it is a fresh take on a genre that needed something else to get
Well,
it
have no
going.
fear.
And
OG Verdansk is right around the corner, apparently.
I know, and I can't wait to stop playing this shit in 8 days. But no, it has been fun, and I highly recommend this for anybody who's a fan of BRs to check this out, just because it's fun. It's PUBG 2077, just like I said like last week. It's fun. It's good. Um, I think it'll last you a little bit.
Mhm.
Gives you get kind of feels from all of your big BRs right now. So you get like your Apex feel, your PUBG feel, a little bit of Fortnite feel, like a little bit of Warzone feel, like the way that everything plays. You get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been fun. It really has been.
Yeah, dope, man. I might have to give it a go. I think I downloaded it the one time and I was like, yeah, and I uninstalled it. But yeah, I might eventually give it a go. But let's check out a game that actually recently downloaded. It's Splitgate 2. It's in the alpha and it's available now on all platforms. But I really enjoyed playing Splitgate 1. I played a lot with like Marshmallow and Spooky Crew and Bruno. So that was a lot of fun. But playing Splitgate 2, I just love how they build off of it. It's on a new engine with UE5 now. So it looks gorgeous, plays gorgeous. Like it's still that phonetic, fast pace. I just love that it's not bullet spongy. Like literally, I play with the one gun and I can like two shot people. I think it takes three shots. Like if you're just hitting them in the body, but if you hit headshots, you're gonna kill them pretty quick. Um, but I just overall feels great, and I just love the abilities, like the class system that they added. It's like each character has its own abilities. So like the one that I was rocking with just has like a barrier. It drops in front of people, like in front of you. It's like that you can shoot through, but they can't shoot through you or shoot at you. And then the other one drops like a bubble shield from like Halo. And I didn't play as the other one. There's only three characters right now, and I didn't play as the third one yet. But they also have their own different weapons typically, but you can swap those out. You can put attachments on. You got perks. Um, but I really loved how they did like team deathmatch, for instance. Typical Call of Duty team deathmatch, first to 75, first to 100 wins the game, right? In this game, it's a round based game, and it's the first one to reach 20 kills in each round, and you have to win like 3 rounds or two or 3 rounds, and then whoever wins that wins the match. So I was like, that's a really different take on just breaking it up because sometimes you do need that break it up because like maybe they're just spawn camping. I don't really see that here in this game because the spawns have been pretty good. But in Call of Duty, like you get spawn camp, that's a wrap. Like you're not gonna really get out of that. So in this, it was awesome to see that change. But they have the typical like domination and like hard point, different game modes and stuff like that. So in the portals, like sometimes I forget that this game has the portal system. Like I just like fuck, and then I start to remember, and like I forget that they place their portals, and I got to clear out their portals so they don't fucking come behind me or do some stupid shit. Um, but yeah, the game's pretty awesome. I highly recommend checking it out. I'm not sure if either one of you guys have played Splitgate, the original, but Splitgate 2, I highly recommend this one. All right, Roger. I want to talk about a game here on your list, Citizen Sleeper. I know this was on Game Pass. Citizen Sleeper 2 is out as well. Um, I downloaded this before,
Well,
tried to play it. It's not my cup of tea, but tell me about how your experience is going with it.
I should say I was playing Citizen Sleeper 2 as it's on Game Pass,
Yeah,
and I wasn't sure what it was going to be. I didn't look much into it. I just saw it had a very cool cyberpunky feel to it.
yeah,
So I grabbed it real quick off of Game Pass for free, downloaded it, played the first little bit of the game with just like a good, I don't know, a chapter out of a novel sort of text.
yeah,
Went through that, dealt with that, and honestly, it seems like it'll be interesting. The fact that you kind of roll dice at the beginning of your turn when you finish like the dialogue to get you to the next story part, you roll a bunch of dice. They're rolled for you, but you kind of just go through and you use those dice to be able to do actions in the game. And I think it's interesting that it's like you already know ahead of time what your dice rolls are going to look like. So you can kind of curate, well, I want this to succeed more or less than something else. So you know ahead of time what you might want to be doing.
it
It's
was
definitely interesting, though.
because it was definitely like just like real, like reading from a book, visual novel
Hmm.
esque, and like you're like typically on this ship, and it's just like you're just trying to navigate. Like it feels like a very like old school style game. Like it's just
Hmm.
like a text log, and it's like telling you things, and like you can level up your character, and like you said, roll the dice and all that stuff. But I love the aesthetic, like you said, the cyberpunk, like very sci-fi, esque. So that's why it had me hooked at first, and I started playing. I was like, this isn't a game that I'm kind of looking to play at all. But so far, you would say that you're enjoying it though.
Yeah, I'm honestly really enjoying it. I think it's a good game.
Dope, dope. All right, let's talk about another game here on my list. So I was for some reason I was on Twitter and scrolling, and someone was talking about like this game where you can get like high amounts of gamer score, and it's a game called Idle Grim. It's literally an idle game where the character is running across the screen and enemies are approaching, and you just sit there and battle that one creature at one time until it's dead, and it moves on, and like you can just upgrade your weapon and stuff like that. It is a very like there's
Mhm.
literally an achievement where you let the game play for like 12 hours and you come back to it. It says come play the game after running it for 12 hours. Like that's like the achievement. I'm like, okay. And like every achievement is like 100 gamer score. It's like it has like 3,000 gamer score for this game. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to boost the fuck out of my gamer score just by letting this sit off to the side. Why not? But
My man's over here just boosting his gamer score, just doing nothing for it. Just wow,
no,
cheap.
but it does have like sorry,
It's got boogies.
got
It's got
boogies.
everything.
But so like it has like energy levels and a mana. So like you can just keep pressing on the screen and it makes your character run faster, but you drain your energy levels down. Um, but you don't want to do that all the way. And then there's like you're collecting candles and you can perform like rituals, like some very like demonic rituals. And you start from the beginning at level one, but like you keep all of the items that you got from your run, and you're just trying to build up. And then it has like a shop that you can like unlock more abilities, more equipment. There's like chests that you can open. They give you random items too. So it's like a has a lot of depth for such a very basic and simple game, and it has a very like retro style like graphic look to it. Roger, I feel like you're over there looking it up, trying to figure this game out. Um, but yeah, if you're looking to boost your gamer score a little bit and catch up to the goat, go check out Idlegrim for 3,000 gamer score. But I believe that's all the games that I was looking forward to covering. But was there anything else you guys wanted to cover before we moved on to the news this week? All right.
Not this week.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and move on to the industry news. Man, do we got a lot to get into. So let's go and check that out. All right, kicking it off here with a banger. Um, we were kind of covering this last week and the week before, and we kind of seen where it was tracking. Did not really expect this to officially happen though. Warner Brothers though is shutting down Monolithic Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brother Games San Diego. So Monolith Productions, for people who don't know, they've been around for like 30 plus years. I mean, they've made both of like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. They made the Fear games, um, and obviously they were working on Wonder Woman that was in works. They were also the ones that fucking copyrighted the Nemesis system and locked that gameplay mechanic out from the rest of the games industry for some dumbass reason. Players First Games was the guys behind Multiverses, so we know what happened there. And Warner Brothers Games San Diego was just a support studio. But sucks to see more people, more layoffs. But I'm just really sad to see Monolith go because they were just poorly mishandled. Like we were talking about how like they wasted $100 million on the Wonder Woman game because they just couldn't get. They wanted to make it live service and then make a single player, and then they first had the Nemesis system in it and then ripped it all out and then wanted to focus on a classic RPG style game. And they're just like, you have no idea what you're doing. Like Warner Brothers, I feel like from top to bottom has been struggling both with movies and video games. They just cannot seem to get it going. Roger, I know you're typically a DC fan. Are you sad to see Monolith go and see this happen to the Wonder Woman game?
I didn't even care. Like, I'm be honest with you, it just doesn't feel like there's any worth in just caring about this game right now. Like, it's just
That's fair. That's
it
100% fair.
like
No to give a shit about this game.
I have felt so just I've stopped caring what comes out of there because it just doesn't feel good anymore. They just don't feel like anything's happening.
I hear.
That's
Sorry,
fair.
I was trying to remedy a bloody nose I just got from blowing my nose. The life of me.
Well, get off your knees and stop blowing it.
Uh,
But what were you about to say
Damn.
though, Scott?
Uh, no, I was just kind of mirroring what Roger was saying. I don't give a shit about the Wonder Woman game, but it is sad to see Monolith go down. Um, it seems like it was. It seems like that the actual workers in the studio are just a victim to not wanting to fire a supervisor at this point, not wanting to fire somebody who manages that studio.
can you really call it managing at that point?
Exactly, and that like you know Roger, I know you'll understand this. Like the people that are working are only as good as the people that are. I mean, well, not only as good as the people that are helping them and managing them, but like they have to go the direction they're told to go. They have to do the things they're told to do. They have to manage their time the way they're told to manage their time, all of that. So it's like when you see something like Monolith go down, like, was it really a whole studio sacrifice that you needed to make, or was it like maybe one or two people? Maybe three,
Yeah.
maybe an argument could be made for four, but like
It's just one of those things. You're like, I don't even know anymore, man.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
just
just
yeah, they're just willing to cut the whole studio just because somebody decided to spend $100 million on fucking Wonder Woman, and there was zero direction on that game. Like things like I understand when you have a huge game like that, you have a game that people are eyeing up. You're gonna make mistakes. Like that happens. Like it doesn't matter who you are, that's gonna happen. But
hmm
like to get rid of the whole Monolith Productions just for something that to me and only me probably seems like it stemmed from the mismanagement of Wonder Woman. That's kind of fucked up. Because like at that point, like I'm the type of person I will fire a supervisor before I fire a worker. Because if the workers aren't doing the things I need them to do, then they're not being told to do the things I need them to do. And at that point, that's the supervisor. Like, so at this point, there's management, middle management, upper management, all of that could have been let go before this whole studio went down. Um, so
or
that's
people in
that's a little
corporate.
upsetting. It's a little upsetting.
Yeah, I just feel like we're starting to see this like more and more. Like two obvious examples would be Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and Avowed, because both of those games were chasing trends. They were both of those games were
hmm
going to be live service games, but they had the transition mid development into single player games, and you still see remnants of the co op modes. Like for instance, Avowed. Like someone pointed out, like your companions were going to be the cooperative characters in the game. That's really what it was. And like some of the quote unquote dungeons that you go into, it's like some caves you can just walk into, but some caves you have to walk in and load into. So like that was a hint of like loading you into a cave with your team. Otherwise, there's no point
Like an
in that loading
instance.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like yeah, I know a Spooky Crew was talking about it like with the Dragon Age of Veilguard. Like that shit's littered with like basically could have been a cash shop in the game. Like that could have been Watch Dogs Legions 2.0. Like there was a lot of issues there, and it's like corporations are getting too meddled into the games industry, but like they're so far behind. Like they're chasing trends that what was, and they're never going to be able to get to those. You know what I mean? So it's like
hmm
everyone wants to have a battle royale. Well, guess what? Battle royales are kind of out the door right now. Oh, we need those live service games. No, you don't. There's too many of those. Like you missed that train. Like look at Rocksteady for instance. Like Rocksteady was known for the Batman or the Batman Arkham trilogy, right? But they wanted to transition them into the Suicide Squad and make it a live service multiplayer game. It didn't work out. You were chasing a trend that did not need to be chased, and hence you fucked that studio up when it didn't need to be.
hmm
So I just think that it's really stemming more like from corporate greed and just trend chasing too
Always.
late,
It it always is, and it has been, and it's nuts.
and it's just getting worse by the day. But enough of that. They did confirm that Monolith's Nemesis system is under lock until 2036, which absolutely sucks because that is one of the greatest systems ever in a video game. I hope that they can work that out and allow someone else, at least in Warner Brothers, to use it and have a game come out soon. But only time will tell. But Roger, if you want to talk about Twitch for us here before we move on to our last industry topic.
Yeah, so Twitch, ongoing subscriptions and bits to most streamers from day one. All right, I did not read the full article here, but if you want to
Oh yeah, so
summarize
basically,
a little bit more.
yeah, everyone will have access to subscription
Yeah.
service. Like someone can subscribe to you
Oh, yeah, yeah.
or pay you bits, and you don't have to be an affiliate anymore.
Yes.
So it's all the hard work that we have put in for our channel or Roger our individual channels to become an affiliate, so we can have people subscribe to us and use bits to cheer
Yeah.
us on. No longer have to put any work into getting because it's just going
When
to
you
be
get
handed to you.
banned or kicked off of Twitch, then you just create a new account and you're still good from day one.
Right. Yeah, I think it's absolutely insane, but I think it's just Twitch trying to Stop the bleeding. I know a lot of
Mhm.
people are leaving Twitch. They're going to YouTube. They're going to Rumble. They're going to TikTok. You can stream on Twitter. Like there are just so many different options out there now that Twitch doesn't have to be the one. I know we're streaming live right now on Twitch. It's a great place for us right now. That's where our community has always been. But I mean, if things get worse, obviously we would have to make the transition. But only time will tell. But hey, all we know is what we worked hard for versus people starting new channels did not work hard for it. But
Yeah, fuck him, Vic.
fuck them. All right, Scott, let's go and talk about our last industry news here. This is another big banger here. So if you want to go ahead and kick it off for us.
So this absolutely has been a banger. So I want you both to think back to just telling your supervisors when you knew a game was going to come out that you might not be feeling good that day, right? Or think of the times where a new game has dropped and you've called in sick so you could play the game. Happened to me. Happens to you guys. It happens all the time. We all get that little infectious disease in us a little bit. However, when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds, this game was so anticipated that the Power World developer Pocket Pair actually gave their employees the day off so they could play this game.
It's fucking insane.
Yes. So the story behind it is that they actually received a number of quote unquote mysterious notices from employees that they probably would be feeling unwell on that day. And it just so happened that that day coincided with Monster Hunter Wild's release. And what Pocket Pair did, is they said, all right, cool. If you want to take the day off to play Monster Hunter Wilds, you have the day off. That is it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Of course, there was some talk about whether or not it would be paid leave, unpaid leave, things like that. But really, that's for Pocket Pair to figure out, not us. But what's important at that point is it was kind of like a moment where employee and employer, like, they all got it. They all got it, right?
We know what
Like,
you're
they all
doing.
knew. They all knew. And the employer was like, we know what you're doing. How about you guys just have the day? That is
I'm
it.
sure the
We're
employer was
we're
like,
giving the people a day
we're
off.
also calling off sick today.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's really weird. You would text me when I'm also feeling a little frog in my throat right about Monday is when I'm gonna feel it. Exactly. So, Monster Hunter Wilds, the impact it's already been having just because of the anticipation for the game has been just A, hilarious, and B, huge. So we all get that. And probably because of Pocket Pair's decision, the Steam numbers have actually peaked at over 1.3 million players. Now, with some of the reviews and some of the issues they've had, they did release at like a half and half, like 50% mixed reviews. But it's really because the PC version seems to have quite a few bugs. Now on the PlayStation Store and on some of the other platforms, it's sitting pretty. PlayStation Store is giving it a 4.6 out of 5. Xbox right around the same. But PC is really where it got hit the hardest with some of its bugs. And I did throw an extra article in here because this is still out for debate, but apparently some of the PC issues for the bugs and performance issues they've been having can be fixed by fixing a typo in the actual game's files. Now, I do have an article there for that, but so basically what it is somebody misspelled resolution. And you had players who were claiming that fixing the resolution misspelling will fix some of the performance issues. Now, that might make sense depending on where resolution was misspelled. If you have something that is reading the word resolution and looking for resolution, things like that, but doesn't see it, then yeah, that can change that can make some issues. Although there's not a lot of people that really kind of buy that. And I actually have, because of that, I actually pulled up 2 articles from the same source. One where the headline was Pennsylvania hackers. No, I'm kidding. It was that Monster Hunter Wilds was fixed with a typo question mark, and then the other one is a typo wouldn't break Monster Hunter Wilds. Like so it's just really up in the air about where this actual performance issue came from. But you do have people saying that if you fix that typo in the actual game's files, that it will fix your performance issues. So who knows? But what did come out is a very, very early patch for Monster Hunter Wilds. Actually, this morning is when it came out, and it did address and it did say that it was fixing some bug issues, although it didn't say exactly which ones and exactly how it was going to affect the players on any platform to that extent. So a lot of stuff coming out of Monster Hunter Wilds for just dropping, but it's
watching like the fidelity like completely be fucked. Like it was starting to look like a PlayStation 1 game for some people. Like the polygons.
it
were,
was
like,
it
little
was it was looking like
rendering
shit, and that's because
issues. It couldn't.
that's
fucking,
because
like,
the resolution got all screwed up.
the draw distance
Resolution.
wasn't really working. Like, but like when the game's really running at its highest possible performance really well, like the textures and shit is super fucking detailed. Like it is one of the most beautiful looking games this year for sure. And according to Metacritic, it actually has a 90, and that makes it the #1 game this year so far. That's 90. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a 88. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders is a 87. Citizen Sleeper 2 actually is a 85. Um, and The Rootress Are Dead is an 85. So those are the top 5 games so far this year. Obviously, Roger, I don't know if you saw, but I did drop that into the Lunacy Arts channel earlier today, just showing like Avowed, because Avowed is the 12th best game with an 80 overall. And Hello Kitty has an 81 or 82, and it's right above it. So,
Which is some kind of bullshit, but it is what it is.
yeah, so whenever Roger returns to the streaming game, we know which one he's going to be streaming first. It's going to be the Hello Kitty game.
I
Well, of
mean, when
course.
it
I mean,
drops this month on physical copy, I know what Jordan and me are going to do.
That's dope.
there's only 2 types of physical games I buy, and that's Legend of Zelda and fucking Hello Kitty.
All right. Anything else for Monster Hunter at all? Roger, you got any takes on the game? Do you plan to play it at all? I've never played it.
I'm not sure. My friends are playing it, so I've thought about it.
I know Philipper is usually pretty big into those games.
It
already
seems like
playing it.
it seems like, other than the issues that some of the PC gamers have been having, like it seems like an actual really, really good, solid like iteration in the Monster Hunter franchise. And people that don't have those issues have been loving this game.
But it also, on the flip side, they're like, it's too easy now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, community.
Oh no, it's too easy. As everything's easy when you cheese it.
Yeah.
Everything's easy.
Like,
if you just
I want to
cheese
be able to
too
sit
hard.
here and swing at the guy for an hour and feel like I'm making no progress. It's like, oh my God, please
I
stop.
wouldn't say an hour. An argument could be made for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was literally
Like,
I,
a lot of
I was
people.
curious to see how this game was playing. Right, so I hopped on Twitch, went to Monster Hunter Wilds, was watching someone play it, and they were attacking this like toad or like big ass frog, and I'm like, that motherfucker's a bullet sponge, like with
Mm-hmm.
swords, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
how is this fun? You're just swinging your sword at a frog for
Mhm.
like 30 minutes, and then it
Mhm.
runs away, and you gotta go chase it again.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this, how is this fun? I don't see the gameplay
Because
fun.
it is a trial of wills and willpower. That's how that game is played.
Like,
How much patience do you have?
Like video
Have you ever
games have to
fought?
value my time, and if it doesn't value my time,
I'm,
it's going to get dropped or it's going to get.
I'm just saying, man. You just don't. You're not good enough at games, then.
Sure.
What it's doing is it's making your time that much more valuable. Honestly.
Sure.
Because realistically, it's speaking like, maybe like 5 minutes to beat a boss. That's not great, but now you're looking at like half hour to beat a boss. Now now you're beating a boss time is a lot more valuable.
I'd rather
So
beat
I'm
the boss
saying,
in 5 minutes.
My
eh,
man's
eh, well,
crying
you
like a
know,
little bitch is all I'm hearing.
it sounds. I'm not saying it's a skill issue, but it sounds like it has all the makings of a
Of a
skill
skill
issue.
issue? Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the gaming news that we have for y'all this week. Wrong transition. Oh well. Professional
My man
podcasting 101.
transitioned too fast. And he
Oh.
was like, all right, these guys talking about skill issues. Nope. Transition.
We are title fluid over here. And that's what we do. It doesn't matter how you're transitioning, only matters if you're transitioning.
Starting off with the Xbox news. This one's actually pretty exciting. A new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game will be revealed to us in a couple of days here on the 4th. A lot of people are speculating it is just Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake, remaster, whatever. But who knows? Maybe we see a new game for the first time in many, many, many years. I remember playing these games back in the day. Didn't really play the remasters much or at all. But are you guys a big Tony Hawk Pro Skater fan?
Oh, I for sure was back in the day.
Oh, talking to me? No.
I for sure was back in the day. That was what we played. It was what we did.
Yeah, the
Like that was it.
warehouse level was so iconic. Music.
Oh, absolutely. Get that secret tape. Get up there. If you can get high enough to get that secret tape on the warehouse level, shit.
Badass.
That was all you needed.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the events for Xbox. So they were part of IGN's Fan Fest week with ID at Xbox, and there they got to showcase 22 different games. Kind of run through these, and then we'll circle back to some of the ones that we want to highlight, or if we seem interested in any of them. But 33 Immortals launching on March 18th. Balatro came to Game Pass. Blueprints launching with Game Pass on April 10th. Buckshot Roulette coming to Xbox and Game Pass. Descenders Next launching on April 9th, coming to Game Pass as well. Echo Weaver coming to Game Pass. Hurdling coming to Xbox, Windows, and Windows PC. Hotel Barcelona launching in 2025. Jump Ship, which is coming to Xbox Game Preview and then the Game Pass later on. Liza P. Overture, the new story trailer. The Lonesome Guild world premiere. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2025. Outbound is coming to Xbox in 2026. Radaton is coming to Xbox. Revenge of the Savage Planet coming to Game Pass on May 8th. Rock Beats world premiere. Tanuki Pond Summer coming to Game Pass. That one seemed pretty interesting. Tempopo coming to Game Pass on April 17th. Tron Catalyst launching on June 17th. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon coming to Game Pass. Heads launching in the summer of 2026. Widow coming to Xbox. And that is all of the games that they got to showcase here. Obviously, the big hitter that I'm really excited for is Liza P. Overture. Um, Roger, I don't know if you got to see the trailer yet. This is one of me and your favorite games that we got to play a couple years ago, and this is a prequel. And I'm really fucking excited. Like, this game looks fucking phenomenal. But the downfall to all of this that I just saw today break on the news is that Liza P is leaving Game Pass on March 15th. So I'm like, so now for me to play the DLC, I have to buy the game now, then buy the DLC. I'm sure I got to buy that. So I'm like, I'm fucked because I'm gonna have
Well,
to.
if
I
you
ain't
buy it,
playing the
if you
game.
buy it before if you buy it before it leaves, you'll get that discount. So maybe that discount will make up for the money you would have spent on the prequel.
Yeah, we'll see. But any of the other games that you guys wanted to highlight before I start pick them out because I have a couple.
Not really.
There's too many games right now to even worry about what's coming out next. I still got like 3 to beat on the back burner.
Yeah. Well, shout out
I
to
have 3 to start on the back burner, and like it's awful.
well, at least Blatro came to Game Pass finally and allowed you to dive in. I know we actually didn't get to talk about you playing that in the beginning part of the episode. Blueprints, I'm super excited for it. That's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like exploration and puzzles, map making, like you're building this like tower. I don't know. Just watch the trailer. It looks fucking dope. Um, let's see. Jump Ship, I heard it's a really dope game. It's developed by Hazelight and Mojang alumni, and this is a 1 to 4 player FPS that puts you in charge of a spaceship and asks you to. This is reading from the article here. and asks you to take on foot combat sections, seamlessly transition between the two. The new trailer gives us a taste of how you'll have to work together to survive, not to mention its tongue in cheek approach to bombastic action. Plus, we learned that it'll be available in early access to game preview. So, like, it kind of like gives me like vibes of like Sea of Thieves. Like, one person's driving the ship, but the rest of your team's trying to like repair it and get the water off and do the sail and stuff like that. You're kind of doing that in a ship in space, but then like you can land on planets, like you can fight other teams and stuff like that. Um, it looks really dope. I might give that a go. Uh, have any of you guys ever played Moonlighter? I have not, but watching the trailer for
Hmm.
Moonlighter 2
I
seems
beat Moonlighter.
it seems
I
like
have not.
um let's see. Oh yeah, Revenge of the Savage Planet. I just beat Journey to the Savage Planet, which is the first one. So I'm really excited to play the sequel here, which launches into Game Pass on May 8th. So really looking forward to that. Tanuki Pond Summer. This is the one I kind of mentioned earlier. You're basically riding a bike as like a mailman, but you're like a raccoon. But like watching a trailer, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because like you go from like delivering mail, you're doing tricks on your bike, to playing baseball, to participating in sumo wrestling. Like you're just doing these like outlandish things. Of like, how are they connected? Why am I doing all of this in one video game? But it kind of reminded me of, like Little Kitty Big City, which I played last year or the year before. So it's like this like really small game, but just like so much to do and discover, and this is like a real chill game as well. Uh, Anybody a Tron fan? Because Tron Catalyst is right around the corner, and I think that's all the ones that I wanted to highlight. But any of the other ones that you guys wanted to talk about at all?
Nah, man, I just was like, all right, I heard you talking about Jump Ship, and I was like, all right, I'll take a look real quick here. Son of a bitch.
Add it to the list.
Shit.
Yeah, so definitely might have to give that one a go. Uh,
Also, the Lonesome Guild looks pretty good.
yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and
There's
talk
so
about
many
some.
good games coming just looking at them.
Yeah, it's insane. So many good games that I'm glad that one of these games got delayed. Fable has been delayed until 2026. We did get to see a pre-alpha trailer, which I don't know about you, but like when I think about like alpha trailers, I think of uh,
Minecraft Alpha.
like it doesn't look the greatest, but like I'm gonna get the trailer here up on screen and let you guys watch it. It's just a quick 51 seconds. Um, this is honestly like breathtaking with like how beautiful the game looks. Obviously, like how it's going to play, the
Hmm.
story and all that stuff is yet to be desired. But I've never played a Fable game. That seems to be a little bit different than the first three entries of the franchise. Um, but I hope it sticks to the what Fable was known for because obviously
I mean, no, the combat is. I mean, the combat is very Fable One. It just looks better. Like that is how we swang and we missed in swang, swang and swung and miss in Fable One. That's what it looks like. It just looks better for this generation. Like
I just hope it turns out well. That's all I can say. Fable, it has a lot to live up to. It's a big name game series, and honestly, sometimes revitalizing some of these old games comes with the risk of just ruining their memory.
right, and I think
exactly. Yeah, you actually nailed it. Is really. I hope they don't fuck it up. I hope that pushing this back into 2026 isn't going to be something that we like. Now we expect too much,
I have a
and then
feeling that
they
the
just don't
delay.
deliver.
I feel like the delay has nothing to do with the game. I think it has something to do with GTA 6. Because
Hmm.
they already have like a lot of games. Like Xbox specifically has a lot of games releasing in the back half of 2025 with Call of Duty, the Outer Worlds 2, and whatever.
We have Call of Duty every year. We just
Right,
have to ignore it at this point. It's like, what am I gonna
right,
do? Not release
right,
a game?
right. But you have to look at it from the Xbox portfolio. It's like, hey, we have 10 games. I'm just throwing numbers out. Which ones do we release this year, and how many do we have to delay until next year? But then we also got to look at GTA 6 because GTA 6 is releasing in the back half, and we don't want to overstack our games on top of each other. and the game that would technically release alongside like GTA 6 is going to get buried. Like any game that releases like a week before or a week after, or even 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after GTA 6 is going to get lost. It's not going to do well for the game because GTA 6 is going to be, we already talked about it, it's going to be the biggest thing that we've ever seen in video games. Like the people who don't play video games is going to buy GTA 6. It's just going to be out of this world. So like, but I'm also glad to see Fable get delayed too because like Fable also gives me like Avowed vibes in a way, and I'm like,
No, Avowed gives you Fable vibes for sure.
Mhm.
whichever way. But I'm just talking about like in release because Avowed's already out. Like I don't want to play the same game later. You know, more or less like it's a similar style game. At least it looks like it.
Well, when's the last time you played Fable?
I've never played Fable.
See,
Oh
that's the
yeah, there it
problem.
is.
It's like
Exactly.
Fable and Avowed aren't alike at all
Yeah,
because
no.
Fabled is like, you know, it is, if your character doesn't end the game fat, riddled with STDs, and owning every property on the fucking metropolitan area, what are you
Then
even
did you
doing?
actually play the game? Did you actually play the game? Like, so Fable is the. I
What
will
if an
say
RPG was for adults?
I will say uneducatedly, Fable, like the first Fable, uh, is without a doubt like the first RPG where like decisions mattered, made, and you saw if your decisions mattered. Like you got to see like how your decisions affected your body, affected your gameplay, affected your story. Like Fable was and is still is like the penultimate, like my decisions drive my story. And I'm this might be the Fable fanboy in me, and that's absolutely 100% okay. But like other games have been striving towards what Fable gave you,
Mhm.
like almost what 20 almost 20 years ago, something like
Mhm.
that, 2008, something like that.
2004, whenever.
Uh, 2004, yeah. So I'll think a while, like you know, a while.
21
Uh,
years. Yeah.
yeah. So
Fable's old enough
Fable
to
has
drink
been
now.
Fable gave us that so early in our video game careers, as it were, that we took that for granted for a little bit, but like it was like Fable is and was like the best like moral code system, moral judgment system for your video game because no matter what you did, like that affected your alignment and how
Mhm.
you were and how you wanted to finish the game. So much to the point to where like it introduced the replayability based specifically on your morals because some of the things in the game you had to do, you had to be either very evil or very good. Like the doors, like you had to be either very very evil to open certain doors, so you had to be very very good to open certain doors, you had to be very very fat to open certain doors, or very very skinny to open certain doors. Like they gave you that replayability in a disc about this big. Like they were that good at this fucking game, and this game was that fucking good at this fucking genre to
And
to have
and it
this
was
like
made for adults. Like it was rated M for a
yeah,
reason.
Yeah. Mind you,
yeah,
I own
because
all
you
three
could
Fables.
smash
I
Lady
have
Power Stone.
I own all
That's
three
the only
Fables on my
reason.
on
That's
the
the only
console.
reason. So you could smash Lady Bowerstone.
So I kind of see the evolution of games in a way, right? When it comes to this decision making, thinking back like KOTOR came out, Star Wars KOTOR came out in 2003. So that game was kind of like one of its like
Mhm.
greatest like, do I want to be good? Do I want to be bad? And those decisions are going to matter the entire story. And it's like Fable, I'm gonna do the same thing. And then on top of that, like we had Mass Effect in 2007, 3 years after Fable. It's like the pinnacle of like true RPG where you could either be good or bad in a video game was like 2003 to 2000 like eight
Well,
or nine.
And
Fable also
the
gave you.
it predates
Gave
that
you
too
Ray.
with like Fallout. Like the original Fallout series did this. And like I think Fable was the one that truly brought it to the forefront, and it wasn't a niche game. Like KOTOR was niche, Fallout niche. Now we're looking at Fable. Fable came to the console. They put it in your hands, in your face, to the general consumer, not just people with PCs.
Right.
And I remember one of the first things that I unlocked in Fable was it was the door outside of I can't think of the name right now. It's when you first start fighting the werewolves and you have those 3 stones. And there's a door out there and it says you're neither good nor evil. You're right in the middle. And that's what unlocked the door, has been like being like this close in the good and evil like realm. Like they had nailed that the entire time.
Dope. So yeah, so I mean, nonetheless, I'm definitely excited to check out Fable. Maybe me playing the new Fable excites me enough to pop in the discs that I do have for Fable 1, 2, and 3. I doubt it
How
because
about
those
you just
games.
pop those bitches in now and actually get yourself a good Fable experience and just fucking.
Probably don't have time to get to those. Like we said,
I think you
priorities.
do.
But let's go ahead and move on though to another game that's coming out from the same exact studio, um, and that's Playground Games with Forza Horizon 5. We already know it's coming to the PS5, but it got its official release date for April 29th with early access on the 25th. They did confirm that there's no physical copies for the PS5, which is interesting. I don't know why Xbox is going down this path of like digital only. I don't know. I don't know why. And I'm like looking at like I'm a collector, right? I want to buy physical copies of games. I'm not really talking about this one, but it's like every time I look up a physical copy of the game, they're never on Xbox. They're always on the PlayStation and they're always on the Switch. And I'm like, why can't we get Xbox versions of these? And I don't know why. But here nor there. But they did confirm that the game will take advantage of the PS5 Pro as well, which some people are like, "Oh man, your games are gonna be running better on your rival," and it's like, not really, because we already know the Series X outperforms the PS5 Pro, so that's here nor there. And if you play it on PC, it's going to run better than either of them. So they already lost that one. But next up is for Halo Infinite. This is a future update. This one was pretty interesting. Again, we were talking about trend tracing. I really think that this is what this is, and this is introducing the S&D extraction. It's a new competitive mode coming later this year. Single life round based, best of 11, offense versus defense with an economy system. Um, you're basically just trying to do CS:GO, Valorant, uh, Fortnite has it. Like every shooter has the same modes now, and it's just like, why are we still chasing trends? But Roger, I want to get your thoughts on Halo Infinite bringing in their CS:GO Valorant game mode.
They got to keep it fresh somehow, my friend.
I guess
And honestly, when's the last time we went and played Halo?
when they dropped the zombies, I guess we were playing Call of Duty Zombies within Halo. I think that might have been it. Um, but is this a big enough update for you to like maybe download Halo again and hop in and give it a go?
I play Marvel Rivals at the moment. That's where I'm at. Like, that's if I'm gonna play a shooter, I'm gonna play that because that's what everyone else is playing.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole world, man. The whole world is definitely on the Marvel Rivals train, and honestly, I think that's going to be another trend that continues to get chased, and I don't think it's going to end well. Um, I was listening to a podcast, and they were joking about how DC is now going to chase that trend and call it like DC Challengers or something like that. um, just to have their own DC or like their Marvel Rivals games. So it's like, we don't need all of these hero shooters and whatnot. Like one is enough. This game came out and just and killed Overwatch. Like the rest of the
All
way.
they need to do is invest into better games. That's what I'm saying. Like better single player experiences in WB's world would rake in cash. We
Easily.
know it happens. Look what happens with the Batman games. Yet they refuse to do it. Look, they released the Batman VR game and it did well.
Yeah. Like it really
It
made me
it
contemplate buying a
made
VR
money.
headset just for that game.
Yep.
Just because I've recently been playing through the Arkham series, I still got to beat the third one, but it's like, man, like that shit looks really fucking good. It looks like I'm playing the
I thought
Arkham games
about
but in
bringing my
VR.
VR headset out for it.
Yeah. If you do, let me know how that game is, man. So, moving on here, this is multimedia from Xbox. This is the new trailer for Minecraft. So I'm gonna get that pulled up here. I feel like the more I see this, the more I'm like, man, I really gotta go see this. Like it's like something that you didn't think you needed to have, but here we are. Have you guys seen the trailer before watching
Yeah, and I gotta say I'm the opposite. The more I see this, the more I'm like, I don't want to watch this movie. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch this. I don't know if I want to go spend my dollars and my time to watch this.
Hey, if
I,
it's on a streaming service, I'm watching it.
yeah, if it comes to Paramount, I mean, if it's got a free next to the fucking download, then yeah, absolutely, 100% I'll watch this shit. But I don't know if I'll spend money on this. I really don't know.
And the crazy thing is, I was thinking about going to IMAX to see this.
What a fucking Microsoft simp over here.
God damn, dude, Jesus Christ,
The
you Bill
craziest
Gates
thing is,
farts
like,
and you just
as
suck it
much
up, huh?
as much as we were just dogging WB, like WB is producing this movie.
Well, yeah, because this is the only thing that they have as a cash cow right now because they've been shitting on everything else that's actually going to make them money.
But this isn't even their IP. Like this is just Microsoft choosing WB to produce it.
Yep,
Microsoft doesn't need, like, they're not going to give it to Sony to do, so, like,
for sure.
I think it looks pretty cool. But
I mean, you
love
said,
Minecraft.
hey,
I love
hey,
Minecraft.
did
So.
Scobie, remind me, did Vic say about the Borderlands movie? I think this looks pretty cool.
I think he said that he was excited to watch it, and I think he said that it was going to be. I think he said
something IMAX.
I really something
looked like an
IMAX
IMAX movie.
something good movie. So thank God that this is not
Like I didn't really
just
spend money.
press start, and this is not the movie review podcast, because
We would
this
be
would
looking just
be
as bad as
just
IGN.
just an awful time. And of course, we're not going to sit here and talk about Vic's huge misses with movies. We would never do that. We're not going to sit here and say anything like he just said
why I
these were
don't
going to be
watch
great movies
movies
and that
or
they were
TV
awful.
shows.
No, we would never do that. But what I'm saying is, I don't know about this movie. I'm not a big fan. I wish you were here, actually, Roger, for the Magic the Gathering movie talk that we had about 2 weeks ago. But I just don't think this is it. Don't think this is it.
It is trend chasing yet again, and we just complain about trend chasing, but then Vic's like, this looks good, and I'm like, oh man, it looks okay at best. It looks like it's geared towards a certain audience range who will just go to it because it's Minecraft.
I have a silver lining. So about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Vic, when we were talking about the Magic the Gathering movie, where you said, I hope it's not like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. And I stopped you right there, and I was like, that movie is fucking great. That movie's outstanding. That movie was fun. So what I would hope would be a best case scenario for the Minecraft movie is that it's not, just like just an outstanding movie all over the board, but I do hope it's relatively successful in the sense that, like, the people that watch it and play Minecraft, like, they get it. Like, they understand it's just there to poke fun and be fun, and that's it. So I hope it has success in that way, and I hope that when you do go watch that in IMAX, you do feel that way leaving the movie. Just because, I mean, there's so much hate on video game based or like niche, like hobby based games that that a lot of people are always like, just, they just hate it, just to hate it. And I hope that's not the case here, but I will have you let me know. Because I will not be. I won't be watching it.
Back. I'll report.
Thank you. Report back. We'll send you to the front lines, and then you can come back with. We'll give
He'll
you
be our war correspondent here.
We'll give you a big stormy like backdrop and just be like, I'm standing here at the front lines of the Minecraft movie. There's about 3 other people here, but man, the popcorn is popping.
Pop over to him. And what do you got there, Vic? It's Minecraft. Thanks, Vic.
I mean, think about it, Rod.
Although
We've been
I
playing
do think this.
Minecraft since like the day one it came out. I remember when you first sent me the invite, like, yo, you gotta just buy this game. It's $20. It's an alpha. You could just get lost in it. Okay. It was at like
They got
07. Like we were in
they got
middle
fucking
school.
blocks.
Yeah, we could
They got
build shit.
It fucking rocks, bro.
Mind you,
Although
like,
I do think this movie's going to do outstandingly well just because of the like the audience that they have. Like it's very
Mhm.
broad.
yes, because
Um,
this movie has
so
to be for like
I
kids
could see
the
this.
whole way up to people who's been playing Minecraft since 07. You know, like it has to be there for everybody. Like I always hear about it all the time. Like, yeah, I have my kid. They have an iPad. And all they do is watch people play Minecraft all day, and I'm like Minecraft is insane. Minecraft is huge. Like Minecraft is used in schools. Like it's just I don't know.
I mean, Minecraft is like World of Warcraft. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but we can sit here and harp on Minecraft all we want. But let's go and move on to something that we do like to harp about: PlayStation.
All right, so PS Plus games for March. We've got Dragon Age, the canceled game, Sonic Colors Ultimate, and we've got the TMNT Cowabunga collection. So day late and a dollar short there with the Dragon Age game coming to a system late into its removal from the world.
All right, that's not
And then we
removed.
got
It's
Sonic
like
Colors, which
like,
is
I'm
just
actually
the
surprised.
collection, I believe.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Dragon Age: The Veilguard already coming to a free, like, here, have the game for free. Because this isn't like
Mm-hmm.
the PS Plus or like Game Pass. It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is yours
This
to
is
own.
free.
Like the game's only been out for like 5 months. I've never seen a game be out that short of
Well, we
time be
already
at its
talked
own.
about how the studio doesn't exist really anymore.
What's BioWare? Like BioWare still exists. They still
Yeah.
have Mass Effect 5 coming out. Like, and Scott, I think me and you were talking about it on the one episode. We're like, the game sold 1.5 million copies. Like, and they were like, that was a failure. And I'm like, I don't see how that was a failure. But like, if you set your expectations too high because their expectations was 3 million for this game, like I feel like they expected Dragon Age Inquisition. Like I put it in the Discord one time talking to Spooky Crew. I was like, I feel like they had expectations for this game to reach Dragon Age Inquisition levels, but it reached Dragon Age 2 levels, and like the game didn't fail. Like I know there's plenty of developers that would love to sell 1.5 million copies of their game.
But the problem is, did they make the money back in development?
No, it probably didn't because we know we already
Is
talked about
that
it was
is
mismanaged
that
because the game
is
was
that a
rebooted 3 times.
is that a
3
problem?
times.
Is that a problem with sales and people that bought the game, or is that a problem with how much money you spent developing this game because you have piss poor money management? So like that's and
Mm-hmm.
not saying that either or are the case, but like when you sell 1.5 million copies of a game, like 2 years ago, that was a resounding success. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was a good game. That was something that people wanted to play, and to sit here and have the studio who made the game be like, "Oh, we only sold 1.5 million copies. This game's a fucking failure." Like that's outrageous
Mm-hmm.
at this point. And to have them like so, I'm not saying they put it on PlayStation services because of that. Um, realistically,
But a
this
dollar's a
coming to
dollar, man. You know,
a
they'll suck
dollar
anybody's dick.
a dollar is a dollar, and you know, and I'm not gay, but $1 is $1, said the fucking CEO of Dragon Age. But like at this point, like this game wasn't a failure. This game was not a failure. Like there are so many other games that I
Just
mean,
may
Vic and I
have
have
been
talked
a
about this.
business failure. But like
It
to
might have
sell
been,
that
but that
many
wasn't
copies,
like to sit here and say that the game was a failure is just that's just factually inaccurate at this point because so many people love this game. And I was talking with Vic, and now that you're here too, I can tell you, like I've talked with people who have played this game who absolutely fucking love this game. Fucking love this game. They said this is the best Dragon Age that I've played, and I've played all of them. I was waiting for this. This has done everything I've wanted it to do and more.
So let me put it into
And
perspective.
to have somebody sit here and be like, "Well, we only sold 1.5 million copies," that's nowhere near our projected 170 billion copies that we thought we were gonna do. Like now it's a failure. Like that's not accurate. That's not a real thing. Like to have them like the studio behind this game sit there and go, well, we think it's gonna do this. When realistically, like down here is where they should have been aiming, and down here is actually like a physical success because other studios have sold 1.5 million copies, and all we see are headlines about how much of a fucking success it was. Like that's just it's weird to call this game a failure. It's very very weird to call this game a failure.
So I got some numbers for you. Dragon Age: The Veilguard has an 82 Metacritic. Dragon Age Inquisition, which also won Game of the Year of 2014, had an 85 Metacritic. It's a 3 point difference. But yet,
But
this game
not
was
to
a failure.
mention the fact that the Steam reviews are mixed, if not positive. Like they are 60% or less, and that is all time and recent.
Yeah. And it's just like coming
So
down to
like
like, start going back to the other issue we talk about all the time is like PC gaming is in such a bad dilemma right now where like games that come out on PC are usually unoptimized, buggy as fuck, and you might as well wait 6 months to buy any game
and you
on
look at
PC.
the reviews though on PC for Steam, and it's not PC buggy, bad playability. It is story bad, writing bad. Who designed these characters? What the fuck is going on? I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm almost done.
So at that point, I will say there was a lot of liberties taken for the storyline
Mhm.
in this game, where like a lot of the marks were LGBTQ, like things like that, that a lot of people really resonated with, that made this game very good for them, that a lot of other people just did not like.
Mhm.
We know your think of your quote unquote Discord mod Fedora fucking neckbeard things like that who might be just reviewing this game poorly because it doesn't fit their ideals, like things like that. But I know that a lot of the storyline and a lot of the things that were going on in this game, like did a lot of people did love.
Mhm.
Um, I
They addressed a
of
lot of
the yeah
things.
of the so and I this is a very like small like contained portion of the world, but like of the I think it was like 9 or 10 people that had played this game that I'm friends with who were a part of that community who felt right even in some like stretch of like connection felt represented by this game. uh they loved it. They
Mhm.
really, really did. And I know that that's a small like faction of like a much larger portion of people
Mhm.
that like loved this game because of those things that they were doing. To say that this game is like not successful and not good, I just don't see that really
Because
plausibly being the
then
case.
I shared with you, Scott, an article I think separately of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They were touting and celebrating 2 million copies sold, and I'm like, we're talking
Yeah.
about a game that sold 2 million copies sold, and they're like, oh, it's great, it's doing fantastic, and then we have a game that sold 1.5 million, and they're like, oh, if it's a failure, and I'm like, but I know the difference because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is like a double A. It's a small studio, so like
Mhm.
I'm sure their developmental costs weren't that high,
Yeah.
and they're raking in like millions. Like their profits are insane. Where like we were talking about the mismanagement of Dragon Age Veilguard probably costed them money, even though they sold 1.5 million copies. They're probably still negative. And taking the deal with PlayStation to put this game on their PlayStation Plus free games, I'm sure was like, oh, now we're even, guys.
Yeah, and like to give you an idea, the creation cost of this game is budgeted probably around 150 to 200 million, and if you're
Sounds about
selling a
right.
copy for 70 bucks a pop and you only sold 1.5 million copies, you only made 105 million dollars. So like you do lose money that way.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like with the original success and then the follow-up
Mhm.
success for Kingdom Come, that's for them to still retain the same studio, same AA status, and then put out Kingdom Come 2. That's of course it's all scaled. So it's gonna
Mhm.
be a bigger success, a bigger like a bigger triumph for
Mhm.
selling the 2 million copies. But none of that is to say that selling 1.5 million copies of your game is a failure. Like,
It just didn't
that's just
make the money that studio should have made at that size and scale of project is what we're
or
getting at.
yes, they shouldn't have,
Don't
or
reboot
thought,
your
or
game 3
or
times.
what the money they thought they should have made. Like, it's at this point, it's like it's the same argument that Netflix made when they realized that everyone was sharing their passwords, and they're like, "We've lost $240 million this year." It's like, did you actually lose it? And they're like, "Well, no, but we just didn't make it."
Yeah.
Okay, but
Whereas
is that a
Dragon
loss?
Age though did lose money because
Yeah.
it's a net loss on the development, I mean. Whereas Netflix, that's just unrealized gain.
Yeah.
Unrealized capital gains, which they should be lucky because they almost got taxed 40% at that.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, lastly here, we've got news for you. If you're looking for a PSVR 2, I got news that it's $150 cheaper and it comes with a free $60 game.
Yay. Still not for
at,
$400. I'm not.
at a whopping $399.99 plus sales tax wherever the fuck you are. You can get the PSVR 2 with Horizon Call of the Mountain. You know, cool. I don't think it's gonna help the fact that this headset is we won't use the word failure. I think that's triggers Scoby now. No, I'm just kidding.
It triggered
the
Vic is what it triggered
yeah,
at first. I'm just backing that up.
600,000 units of the PSVR 2 were sold in the first 6 weeks. After that, Sony hasn't shared with us how much they've sold, but they've told us we've stopped making it in March 2024 because we have a lot of unsold units. Do
What
you
a
now?
failure. Absolute
What a
failure.
failure. What an absolute
Absolute
failure.
I think they only sold like 2 million. Like all jokes aside, I think all they sold was 2 million VR headsets. Might be a little bit more now, but I'm sure it's not much more.
I mean, you need the console first of all. So you're buying a second console to play with your original console just to play with other
Nope.
games that you still have to buy at
It
$60
costs
a
more
pop.
than the console at that.
Yes, I know it does.
It made no sense to me.
It was a bad decision all around. A bad decision was had by all.
Yeah.
All I know is the PlayStation 2 had a perfectly fine, augmented reality system. I remember knocking monkeys or whatever it was out of the way.
The karate. Oh man, memories
Yes,
unlocked.
sir. Oh no.
That was the
I
eye
forgot
toy, by the
about
way.
that.
The what?
The eye toy was what it was called.
iToy, thank you, man. I could
Yes.
not remember the fucking name.
Yes. That was
We played the shit out of that.
No,
that
not
was
the
that
eye
was like
toy.
way ahead of its
Shit.
time. Like I feel like it was so good.
Not the eye toy.
That
Oh
walked so the
no.
Connect could live and then die. But yeah, man. So enough of the PlayStation news. Let's talk about something actually exciting with the Nintendo. Maybe not with the first part, but the second part.
Not terribly exciting in the first part, but we do end up with a little bit of excitement. So coming out of the Nintendo world, we do have some services news with Nintendo Switch Online. A little interesting is for the first time they are delisting a game from the library, which is it just sounds weird because we haven't heard about that before. But they are removing Super Formation Soccer, which is the Japanese eShop, and they're removing the U.S. and Europe version, known as Super Soccer, from the library on March 28th. So we think this is happening due to a licensing issue, since Nintendo did not publish the game in Japan, as it was published by a now defunct Human Entertainment. So interesting news coming out of that, because that it really is the first time they've delisted a game. So we're not sure how to act when we see something like that.
'Cause there's a little over 300 and some games a part of this service now, which is insane
Yeah.
to think about. But and this is the first time it's been removed. But maybe they get it figured out with the whole licensing thing. Because when the news first broke,
Hopefully.
it was just being removed from the Japanese eShop, but then it was removed later. So we'll see. All right, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the exciting news from Nintendo, though.
Yes, we have Pokemon Presents. So, in celebration of Pokemon Day, there will be a new Pokemon Presents presentation on Thursday, February 27th, which is already passed. And because of that, any Pokemon game has basically an event going on in it. Um, so when it comes down to the Pokemon games, this affects Pokemon Concierge, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters EX, Cafe Remix, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon's TCG Pocket, Pokemon TCG in general, Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Champions, and Pokemon Legends C through A. So they just always have things going on in these, and I'm not sure if you, Vic, or you, Roger, have played any of the Pokemon Go or Pokemon TCGP. They just got a lot of stuff going on right now, like almost to the point to where I was playing today at Costco. I was playing yesterday, like just out in my travels, and like there's just a lot of stuff going on in some of these games where they've really like just made it an event. Like in Pokemon Go, it's the Pokemon Go Tour. In Pokemon TCGP, it's the new drop for the new booster pack, and you have the new dailies and like the new little mission sets. Like it's been fun. It's been like they've added a lot of things that have just been interesting, like over the past like day or so. So what have you guys played any of that? Have you guys
yeah.
like seen any of it?
I've been playing a lot of the TCG Pocket, obviously with the new set. Um, been trying to collect that. I'm still trying to finish up the last one too. Um, but the biggest announcement from this event was Pokemon Champions, which I'm gonna get a trailer up here in a second. Um, this was
Fucking, I am so hyped because this looks like it's gonna be
Pokemon Stadium, basically.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but an online multiplayer game. Is
Yeah.
this the future of Pokemon battles? Is this the future of the world battles, like, actual Pokemon tournaments?
And what's
Oh
dope
God,
is
I
like,
fucking hope so.
and like what's crazy is like Pokemon Champions will connect to both Pokemon Home and Pokemon Go. So like all of those Pokemon that you've been collecting and leveling up and shit like that, you're going to be able to play in Pokemon Champions. And I'm like, yo, that shit's dope. Like it just reminded me of like even the N64 was kind of doing this back in the day with like you get the cartridge, plug in the bottom controller and put it in your Pokemon Blue or Pokemon Red or Pokemon Yellow, and you get the battle with the Pokemon that you were playing on your Game Boy Color all the damn time. That was dope. You're basically doing it here in Pokemon Champions, and it's also coming to mobile. It's not just a Switch title too, which is awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be huge,
I
honestly.
just There were so many good announcements, dude. And Champions wasn't probably the biggest announcement. It's still the final big reveal for ZA. Like,
Yeah,
so hyped, dude.
They've put a lot of work into Pokemon in the last like year or so,
I wonder
and
why.
it's all showing now.
I wonder why.
Like it's all like
I
we are
wonder
getting.
why. Maybe
Who would have
somebody lit a
thought?
fire,
Hmm.
lawsuit lost.
Maybe.
Money loss, that sort of thing. You know, it happens every once in a while. But like we're finally seeing like a lot of like the initial thought processes and like
And
I
like,
would like to say brain children at this point, like
and
coming
the
to
fact, like,
like the end of this.
if you watch Champions, they're mega evolving. They're literally Scarlet and Violet evolving. You're like, it's gonna have what every type of like actual mechanic.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Are we gonna get our bracelets back and do the whole dance? Like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna
not the
finally
Dynamax
address?
bracelet.
Like, are we
Dude,
gonna address the fact that like we could get everything back, not just Dynamax, but also Z moves?
oh, dude,
Like,
it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be
I
so.
really hope this Pokemon game has everything, every mechanic, and it plays like, with all your Pokemon, and we can finally see like everything come to fucking together.
Yeah, and I got
Honestly, I hope it's too much. I hope it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for your champions. I mean, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 were my all-time like one of my all-time favorite games of the 64. I didn't really play a lot of was it Coliseum for the GameCube. I never had a GameCube. I know Roger, we used to play it on your sister's
Yeah.
GameCube. Um, but outside of that, like that we haven't had like a true Pokemon battler per se. But I did get the Pokemon Legend ZA trailer up playing right now. Roger, I don't know if you saw or even Scott, you saw. Did you see the battles? How they take place? Like you can actually run around in the battle and like you're.
Yeah, it's like you can
It
control
looks
it.
like
You can
real like
do
Pokemon battles
all of
instead
it.
of just
It's
speaking.
the dumbest
It's
thing. I love it. I can't wait. I can't
It's
wait.
the same
I
game.
can't wait.
It's literally the Pokemon game. What was it? the one that was in the medieval times.
Arceus, Legends Arceus.
Oh
Legend.
yeah,
Yeah. So
Legend.
it's Arceus, but it's now modern day Arceus, and like hopefully we eventually get to a point where this becomes the kind of norm for these games.
What did you guys think of
Well,
the starters that you get to choose from in this?
My boy Totodile.
Totodile,
Let's
yes.
go.
That's my boy.
Totodile and Chikorita. Like the two worst starters in the generation. Let's go.
No, Totodile is my boy. I had rocked with him a lot.
Fucking for alligator every day.
Was insane. I
I
feel
had
bad
to
for
go with Cyndaquil,
T-Pig
man.
or whatever the fucking fire Pokemon is in this one. because
Cyndaquil,
That one right there. No,
or is this?
no,
Yeah.
it's T-Pig or whatever.
Oh, it's Tepig.
Tepig.
Yeah, it's Tepig for this
Hey,
one.
you leave him alone, okay? He's trying his fucking best.
Yeah, I was like, I
All
feel
right.
bad for him because like I feel like he's not going to get picked that much.
I'm
Just
picking
my
him
personal-
just to spite you.
There's gonna be
Just
one
to spite
person.
you, I'm
They're gonna
picking
reach
him.
the stats like Tepig was picked one time. Like I know who that guy was.
Fucking me. Everyone knows you pick fire. Everyone knows you pick fire.
And the thing is,
Unless
I
you want
usually
an
do
easy
pick
mode.
fire most of the time, and water would be my backup. Like I feel like I never pick grass ever.
Grass every day, all day, every time, because
Just
it's
because
green.
your
Let's be
favorite color.
honest.
Yes, I know.
Your boy like green.
But yeah,
See, it's hilarious though because I love green and I love blue. I
And-
hate
and the
the
fact
red,
that, like-
but I'll pick red every day when it comes to my Pokemon.
And they're bringing back max evolution in this as well. Like ZA literally is bringing back one of the most sought after evolution methods. Like one of the most sought after like battle game changers. I'm just so hyped about this game.
This game seems it's as a Pokemon fan, maybe not as big as a Pokemon fan as Roger over here because my man is sweating.
I'm ready
It's-
to go back.
I know. I get it. I 100% get it. I get the hype because this game is pulling everything in that they've had over the past like 10 years into one game. They're making it like obviously get the third person perspective. You can move the Pokemon. You get the max evolutions. Like you get everything in this, and it's so hard to even have any other lens than this game is going to be amazing.
And when
Like,
it isn't,
absolutely
the world
amazing.
will die.
And it's like at this point it's like there's so much riding on this this studio's shoulders
My hopes,
because
my
so many
dreams.
people, yes, Roger's hopes, Roger's dreams, other things, like there's so much stuff that is riding on like the success of this game because at this point we've seen it. We've seen gameplay. We've seen how we're thinking it's gonna work, and like everyone is so hype, and I get it because I'm there with that because like I want to play the fuck out of this game, and I just hope that it is everything that we want because man, if it is not, they are gonna fucking hear it in at least 1 to 2 strongly worded letters, because this game is just that good looking. Like it's that good looking.
and
God, I hope it.
I hate to say it,
God,
but
I hope
I
it
have not
succeeds.
played Legends of Arceus, and watching the trailer was like, I think I should go pick up the game Legends of Arceus and Legends Arceus and
Mhm.
actually play it. Like I just have
Thought
not
about it
played-
too.
I have not played
Literally the
Scarlet and
same.
Violet. Like it's so crazy. I've missed. I haven't played a ton of Pokemon games.
Well, thankfully they're not like sequential as far as storyline
right.
goes.
Thankfully, you could just play them
Loosely, like yeah, you just pick up the Pokemon game and you play the Pokemon game. So there's not gonna be. It's not like you're gonna be missing backstory, things like that you couldn't get here in like conversation or like online by just searching something. It's not like it's. It's not like it's
So I always have this in my bag
a
at all
second
times.
sequel, anything like that.
I have Pokemon Sun in there. I was playing that. It has been
Oof,
a while.
the
but
worst one, arguably. I'm kidding. It's not the worst one.
Yeah, I'm sure Black and White were some of the worst. Ones. I didn't make Black and White too.
I've heard the quite the opposite, that Black and White were some of the best ones, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard like that's why they made a Black and White too, because they are the only ones that ever have a numbered sequel, because they know that the the first ones were just so bad. They were like, we're gonna make the same game but make it a little bit better.
I mean, we have Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon.
Well, it's not sequential. numbers.
But it's not Sun and Moon 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the case that that
No, I get it.
Ultra.
No, but like you can say that about like Leaf Green
Yeah.
and Fire Red, like when they remade, the originals, or when they bet Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. That was just a remake of the OGs as well, just with the more modern Pokemon walking in the wild. You can see them as opposed to just walking in the grass and like, oh, surprise, motherfucker, we're battling. No, I don't want to battle right now. I need to get over there. I need to use a
Too
repel.
bad that's part of the game. Adapt.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So yeah, I thought the Pokemon Presents event of 2025 was pretty
It
cool.
was
Man.
great.
They had a little bit of everything, new surprise announcements, new showcasing for ZA. I wish I had a better name because I quite don't understand why they named it ZA. Maybe you guys know. Is there
It's
like a
because
story?
of you clearly don't play enough Pokemon.
I guess I don't.
It's
What do we think of
because of
Zygarde?
the Zygarde, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have had to
When
play
you
Legends.
play it, you'll understand.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So I got to play Legends Arceus to understand ZA.
No,
No,
No.
no, not at all.
no, you just have to play that generation.
Which one was that?
That's what's nice about Pokemon games is you could pick that shit up at like 5 years old, having no knowledge of the previous games, and just love it.
Yeah.
I think Zygarde is from.
He's
I-
like 2 iteration, Unova.
If it
Well, and
was
the
spin
thing
off.
is, like in the trailer, you can actually see the spoiler. Like it's called ZA because of Zygarde. The Zygarde's literally in the trailer, and you missed it.
No, I saw him. The dude with like the green outline or whatever to him. He's standing on the roof looking.
On the roof.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh yeah,
that is
shit.
it.
Yeah.
A lot of people miss that. That's a Zygarde right there. That's
Yeah.
the
And
first
they said
form of it.
Yeah, but that's what they said. That's his first form.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Zygarde Cell.
yeah, I know what that was. Yeah. But I didn't know like that's why it translates to Z to A. But here nor there. But let's go ahead and move
From
the podcast.
Zygarde to Arceus.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move the podcast along. Last two topics here before we close it out. Roger, these ones are actually both of your articles you dropped this week. And first one for Dying Light, and I actually never even knew this was a thing, but it says shockingly nobody bought the $386,000 special edition of Dying Light that came with a parkour lessons and a full-size custom zombie survival shelter.
Oh, you missed the fact that you also get a full-sized person statue. You get
4 signed
you
steel
get
books.
you get 4 signed, you
2
get your
sets
face
of
in the game.
headphones, branded night vision goggles, a human-sized figure of one of the game's volatile enemies, photo of your face skinned onto your whatever. Round trip to Techland, where you'd get to party with the Steve, the zombie consultant. Okay, custom built zombie survival shelter. Yep, some adult diapers to go with your night vision goggles, and the people were like, "Nah, I'm good."
I
Like, I
can't
don't know who
believe
this
this
was.
wasn't.
I don't know.
I
who this
can't
was.
believe that this didn't just fly off the shelves.
If I
I
had
can't.
$386,000 just laying around for shits and giggles, maybe.
I find it so hard to believe because there was so many things that you could get for that $386,000.
Maybe they were just looking for more funding for Dying Light 2 because clearly 500 hours worth of content was not cutting it.
Well, obviously this is the bird flu's fault. I can't
let's
believe
cut
that
the
anybody
black.
wouldn't spend that. I mean, who doesn't have that,
I don't think I have a.
right?
Oh, we're cut the black, and we're back. You get it? Roger gets it. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on to the last topic of the week. Roger, kick it away.
All right, last topic we got here, which is interesting. We've talked about it a few times now, and that the guitar simulator genre is kind of getting a resurfacing. Fortnite has it. There's GarageBand or whatever the computer emulator for it. There are 2 new made by Gibson Guitar Hero Rock Band and Fortnite compatible controllers, which is actually really cool. They have the Black LP Tribal Encore edition and the LP Blueberry Burst edition, which is fascinating to see. These are brand new controllers for anyone looking to play your classic Guitar Hero game.
Yeah, these are fun because like anybody who has played guitar, anybody who has done anything like that in the past, like Les Paul has always been big with their LP series, and these are like iconic when it comes to the Gibson brand. So to see them come to like just the plastic format as it was, and to see them come to these games, like that's super fun. Like that's a super cool thing to see, like a super cool partnership with Gibson and CRKD, who makes a lot of custom uh, shit anyway. Like to see that, like this super fun. Not something I will play because I don't have the time for a Guitar Hero or anything like that. But like this is a fun, like iconic brand bringing their one of their most like memorable guitar bodies into the game sphere, and so it's fun. It's cool.
Wait,
It's cool to see that.
separate note to Guitar Hero. I don't know. Did you guys see the guy who 200%ed Fire and Flames or whatever the song from like
I
Guitar Hero
did see
3?
that earlier. I saw that actually earlier today, and I was like, "No shit!" I sat there and I listened to the whole thing.
And I
It
was
was
like,
amazing.
I was like looking at it like it's just I'm flabbergasted. Like the ability to
Well,
do
he
it.
got he got the combo while on his rock power through the entire solo through the Fire and Flames, and that was on two times speed, which is just
I thought he was going to break the guitar.
nothing. He was pounding that shit. Nothing I could ever do close to that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so shout out to him for accomplishing that. I know it was all over games like news and media, and they were like, "Whoa, this guy like broke a record and shit like that." So it's awesome to see. It's crazy to see like people are still playing like these older games. Like when we were talking about like someone beat Tetris and then someone 200% of the hardest song ever in Guitar Hero at like 2 times speed and breaking the guitar at while he's doing it. It's just like it's awesome. It's really impressive. But I would hope to see Xbox revive the Guitar Hero brand. Like that'd be like clearly there's a reson like Roger was saying. Like it's coming back. It's here.
Yeah, I mean
Capitalize on it instead of trend chasing at a later point.
that's fair.
Like if Fortnite is the leading person right now in your Guitar Hero genre, you can capitalize on it. You can take it back just by name. But here nor there. But anything else you guys want to talk about before we go ahead and close out this week's episode? All right. So we do want to thank everyone who checked us out live today here on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. But Roger, where can the community find you at?
Hey, you can find me at here on Discord or in the podcast.
And what about you, Scott?
You can always find me here on some Sundays, and then you can always find me on my Discord at Scoby1.
And of course, you check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ Threads is Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game, party up, hit me up there. And I do play on PS5 from time to time, and that's VBrew24. Facebook is Vic Brewrocker for any questions, concerns, or if you want to come on the show. And I do have a Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, where I may stream some multiplayer games like Splitgate 2, or any other games I feel like streaming. But appreciate the support there. But we do want to thank everyone again. And until next week, peace.
Press Start Podcast.